Hello, Toon Army! The transfer window has slammed shut, and while other Premier League clubs were making last-minute moves, Newcastle United decided to keep things steady. It was always expected to be a quiet window for the Magpies, with Eddie Howe making it clear that financial constraints under the Premier League's profit and sustainability rules, PSR, meant there was little room for movement. And true to form, there were no last-minute arrivals at St James Park before the 11 p.m. deadline. One of the biggest stories of deadline day for Newcastle was the departure of Lloyd Kelly to Juventus. The versatile defender left in the final hours of the window in a deal worth around $20 million, a move that briefly sparked speculation that the club might bring in reinforcements. But despite some hopes, no new faces arrived in Newcastle. While there were no incomings, there was certainly interest in some of Newcastle's key players. Sean Longstaff, Kieran Trippier, and goalkeeper Odysseas Vlachodimos were all linked with potential moves away, and Watford even made a late attempt to sign Matt Targett. However, Newcastle held firm and ensured that key squad members remained at the club. With injuries already piling up, letting go of crucial first-team players was never really an option. Across the Premier League, the final day of the transfer window saw mixed levels of activity. Arsenal and Manchester United stayed quiet, but Chelsea and Tottenham made late moves to keep their fans entertained. Newcastle, on the other hand, played the long game, focusing on maintaining squad stability rather than making reactionary signings. The biggest takeaway from Newcastle's January transfer business is how much of it revolved around outgoings rather than signings. Miguel Almiron made his way to Atlanta United for $10 million, while Isaac Hayden, Portsmouth, Alex Murphy, Bolton Wanderers, Travis Hearns, Aalborg BK, and Charlie MacArthur, Carlisle United, all left on loan deals. Jamie Miley also completed a permanent move to Hartlepool United. While some fans might be disappointed by the lack of signings, it is important to remember that Newcastle are playing the long-term game. The focus has been on securing financial stability and preparing for a more active summer window. The PSR rules have placed restrictions on spending, meaning Newcastle must be smarter in the way they manage their squad. And let's be honest, this squad has already shown that, when fit and firing, they can compete with the best. The January window was not about making knee-jerk signings, but rather about ensuring Newcastle are in the best possible position for the months ahead. So, what do you make of Newcastle's transfer window business? Should the club have pushed harder for reinforcements, or was it the right call to play it safe? Let us know in the comments below, and don't go anywhere, because up next, we're diving into the major changes behind the scenes at Newcastle United and how Paul Mitchell is making an impact as the club's new sporting director. Stay tuned, Toon Army! Now, let's talk about the man who is shaking things up at Newcastle United, Paul Mitchell. Since arriving as the club's new sporting director, Mitchell has made some bold decisions that are setting Newcastle on a new path. He has taken charge of the club's transfer strategy, and while he wasn't able to bring in any new faces this January, he has already started doing something that his predecessor, Dan Ashworth, struggled with: moving players out. Mitchell's biggest move so far has been securing $10 million for Miguel Almiron's transfer to Atlanta United and finalizing a deal for Lloyd Kelly to join Juventus for $20 million. These sales were necessary, given the PSR restrictions Newcastle are dealing with, and they give the club more financial freedom heading into the summer window. This is a stark contrast to Ashworth's time at the club, where player sales were a struggle. His tenure saw only a few significant departures, like Chris Wood to Nottingham Forest and Alan St. Maximin to Al Ahly. The ability to sell well is crucial in modern football, and Mitchell understands that Newcastle need to be more effective in generating revenue from outgoing players. His work now is all about positioning Newcastle for a stronger summer transfer window, ensuring the club has the financial muscle to bring in top-quality players when the time is right. However, not everyone is happy with these changes. Eddie Howe, for instance, is reportedly not pleased with losing Lloyd Kelly. The defender was seen as an important squad player, and his departure leaves Newcastle slightly weaker in depth. But as difficult as these decisions are, they are necessary for Newcastle to progress under the financial constraints imposed by the league. Mitchell is proving that he is not afraid to make the tough calls. He is willing to take short-term risks for long-term gain, and that is exactly what Newcastle need right now. The Magpies are on a journey to becoming a consistent top 4 side, and Mitchell is laying the groundwork for that by ensuring the club is financially strong and well prepared for future transfer windows. So, Toon Army, what do you think of Paul Mitchell's early work at Newcastle? Do you think his tough decisions will pay off in the long run? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. That's all for today's update on the world's greatest football club. Stay tuned for more exclusive Newcastle United news. And as always, keep the faith. Away the lads!